Micah, what really stood out to me, man, from watching your highlight was just the burst you have within your route. Just boom, you make a cut, bam, you're going to get there quick. And just seeing that little instant burst and stuff like that, that's what really stuck out to me. Now, my suggestions for your highlight video are the following, okay? The very first thing is to have an information slide at the beginning of your video. And the best way to do this is to go on Canva, right? And it's free. And you want to go to a slide. And on this slide, you want to put information of your name, school, graduation year, position, height and weight, X account, email, and phone number. All right. Put that info on the left, put a picture of you on the right, download that, upload that to the very first thing on your Huddle highlight video. And you want to do this for a few reasons. First thing is so all that information is at the very beginning, because that's what a college coach will look for. Okay, so we want to have all that there. That way he doesn't have to go try to find these things or search for different slides or something like that. And the thing I'll say is a college football coach's time is very short and very valuable. And if they can't find it, they're going to pass on the kid. Okay, there's been times, even personally, I struggle trying to find somebody's information on X account, something, and I've had to pass because I can't get in contact with this kid. I don't have a lot of time to keep searching for this. Okay, so we want to make sure that that's accessible and available. Next is the removal of plays / non-highlights. All right, and these are more anything that is that doesn't really showcase your strength as much, right? Or doesn't transfer the next level as much, okay? Sometimes we think of if we can take these plays out, this is going to help move the needle for us. Maybe we're a 10 on a coach's board. Maybe taking these plays out then moves us to a 5, a 3, a 2, or a 1, all right? So we want to take these plays out, and like I said, and I want to reiterate this too, they are not bad plays. Okay, first and foremost, they're not bad plays, but they're just plays that can maybe hinder us a little bit, so we want to take those out. And the example, I've got them others timestamped here, but the one I really want to just take a look at, all right, just to kind of give an example, is the one at 347, 348 mark here. And this is just your jet sweep. Like I said, nothing bad about this play, but compared to your other ones, we only get maybe 3-4 yards, okay? So not as explosive as other things. And they know you can do a jet sweep from your other highlights you've got on here. So take that one out, okay? Like I said, not a bad play, but just to show something we want to be able to, we want to take some of these plays out just to help move that needle, all right? Next is to remove background sounds. Right, you had a few plays on there that had some background sounds. Make sure we take those out. And the reason we really want to do this is because we don't want to have anything that's going to distract us, distract those college recruiters from evaluating your film. All right, you're watching 60 to 100 kids in a day. I did this when I was a coach. When I was a college coach, we sit in a room, dark room, our lamps on, music's going, and we're kind of just in a zone. All right, you're in an evaluating zone. You're just watching kids all day long, type of deal. Sometimes when you get background music, the music from the videos or captions that pop up, that thing distracts you. Okay, it throws off your rhythm. We don't want that to hinder you, and sometimes coaches get annoyed on that. Okay, so we want to make sure we take that off. Next, order of plays. Okay, we want to go within this. We want to go offense, defense, and then special teams. Okay, I know you had a special team in there, but we're going to put that with your touchdown. So this is just for future purposes. Okay, but with the reason we want to set it up like this is because let's say the DB coach wants to watch certain clips. He can jump right to where they need to and watch those clips. Okay, they don't got to watch all the offensive stuff as well. They really like just being able to watch what they need to watch and go from there. Like I said, their time's valuable, so we're going to give them the best possible way we can do that for them. Okay, now within these order of plays, let's check out the sequence of plays within each section. Okay, so within these sections for offense, we're going to go to touchdowns. Okay, if you got long ones and your short ones, and you can add special teams in there. Okay, and then we're going to go to explosives. That's anything 15, 20 plus yards down the field. Right, and then we're going to finish that off. And if you before that, all I'll say is if you've got blocking highlights, add that in there as well. Okay, make sure we add those in there. That would be very big for you. All right, now. I know you had one at the 218 mark, so make sure you add that one in there as well between the explosives and the remaining offensive highlight. All right, make sure you add that in there. Now, go into your main offensive highlight. Okay, this is more anything that's not necessarily going to not an explosion play, but a good play that still showcases what you can do. All right, so we want to throw that in there, and just because sometimes they can still, like you do a 10-yard dig, catch that, and still showcasing the good things you can do. Okay, next, go into your defensive side, go into turnovers. Okay, this is more anything interceptions, forced fumbles, fumble recoveries. Okay, then PBUs, and then tackles. As a DB, they want to know if you can tackle or not. Okay, they got to be physical and violent. That's what they want to see, and then finish that off with the remaining defensive highlights. Okay. Again, this is more anything, maybe covering a guy, okay, making a tackle 5 yards downfield, all right, or helping rally for something, all right, just something that's really going to, not necessarily like one of these statistical deals, but something that's still going to showcase what you can do, right? Now, the reason we want to put this in this sequence and put this in kind of how we have this order and everything else is because, and with this, all these plays I've got on here, timestamped is how I would start these, okay? Because we want to have the best play for each section to capture that coach's attention early to keep him watching. Like I said, he's watching 60 to 100 kids. So we want to make sure that we have our best plays first, all right? Because after a minute, if he doesn't see something, he's going to go on. So we want to make sure we put on the offensive side, we put those ones in there, okay? So to go off of what we're talking about here, going to the 303 mark, all right? This is a great job here. Boom. Like I said, we're kind of in that short range that we're 25 and in on this red zone deal, but boom, catching a touchdown, taking a shot all at the same time. That's going to get a coach's attention knowing you can take a shot and come down with the TD, okay? And then follow that up at the 47-second mark here. Okay, let me back up here just a little bit, going a little too quick for myself. Showing the punt return touchdown. Okay, or the kickoff return touchdown, excuse me. Okay, great job here. Boom, and we're taking off. This is kind of that burst I'm kind of talking about too. All right, boom, we kind of hit that seam and we can take off. All right, it's a great job there. Showing off that long speed. Make sure we've got this one in there. Okay, Great job. Next, going to your explosives. This is at the 335 mark. And like I said, this is kind of why we want to have this stuff at the beginning to kind of change some things up. Okay. Now, is this just a quick slant? Yes. But it's boom. What you do after? Splitting these guys here, making arm tackles miss. Okay. You turn a 5-yard quick slant into almost a 20-yard gain. All right. That's a big explosive play there. Okay. Really showing off your speed as well. Then, like I said, add in, I know at the 218 mark, I don't have it on here, but at the 218 mark, you had that very good blocking clip. Add that in there as well. All right, then go into your remaining offensive highlights. Okay, this will be at the 145 mark, and I'll kind of give you an example of what we're looking at here, what we're really trying to see just within this side of it. All right, so, all right, this one here. All right, let's let it go through. Okay, boom, quick screen, or actually the tunnel screen, pardon me. All right, but still showing. Like I said, we're not necessarily a big gain there, all right, from where we were. We were maybe 14-ish yards, so it's still showing what you can do, boom, right in that wave of the tunnel screen. Not a lot of guys can do that, trust me. Even at the college level, guys still struggle with it, but it's still showing what you can do. Like I said, we're within that 10 to 15. We can still put that in our remaining offensive highlights. It's a good thing to really show, all right? Next, going to your defensive side, all right? So like I said, this is kind of why we do the order. We've got offense, then we're going to defense, focus on these turnovers here, all right? At the 21-second mark here, okay, it's a great job playing it through, okay? But like I said, it's a forced fumble. This is a turnover, and you got a touchdown. Okay, showing off this speed, boom, taking off right there. There's that burst I'm talking about. Okay, it's a great job there. All right, next going to your PBUs. Okay, it's actually the play right after this. All right, great job. Okay, in the back of the end zone here. Okay, getting back in phase, getting turned around. All right, boom, helping with the safety, help getting that thing knocked down. That's a great job. All right, now make sure we're not back to back on games. Get these things flipped up. All right, put the information slide, remove those plays, remove the background sound, change up our order and our sequence of plays. All right, overall, this will provide a more dynamic highlight video for college coaches. Now, after going over the game film feedback, let's take a look at what divisions you should target. Okay, I'm basing this off of the most recent highlight video, which is exactly what college coaches are going to do. Okay, and where the athlete can receive a scholarship right now. This is based on a few criteria. First thing is graduation year. Use this to your advantage, though. You've still got a couple years. Use it to your advantage to keep improving and keep getting better. All right, they're going to go off size, foot speed, and long speed and strength. All right, that's what they're going to look for in a receiver. Okay, so we got to make sure we're doing these things. Okay, with that being said, though, this is a current evaluation opposed to being a projected evaluation. Right, and with that being said, the levels you should look at today for a scholarship are mid D3 to lower NAI. All right, now. You may not start getting interest from these schools yet because of your graduation year, but we can still start that communication process with these coaches through email and call. They may not answer the calls, but we can still try. All right. You start getting your name out there through social media and DMing these coaches. Make sure you're following them. That's going to be the bigger portion for you right now in this graduation time. All right. Make sure you're marketing and branding yourself in the correct way. Okay. Now, when we go attend these prospect camps at these levels we're projecting, okay, we can introduce ourselves to these coaches. This is going to help ourselves. So when they know, boom, hey coach, I sent you my highlight video. They see they like what you did at camp. They go watch it. Then they can kind of start keeping tabs on it a little bit better. All right. So that's why we kind of do that and put our money to better camp purposes and not going to the 1,000-person mega camp where we might get kind of lost, especially being a younger guy. All right. But here's the deal. They kind of introduce, and then you send that midseason highlight, and they kind of see, they may not be able to talk to you yet, but they're like, man, I can really see what he's doing here. I see that stuff translating. I'm really excited for him, right? That's going to help develop that relationship and know who they're watching too. But how can we also go attack these levels to get better? That's the big question. My suggestion to improve your game that translates to college football and possibly a higher division are the following. First thing is strength training. Okay, adding good weight, right? That explosion of power, that's going to translate to the college game. You got to be able to take those jams from those corners. That's what we got to add this strength. Okay, they're going to do that at the line of scrimmage. You got to go across the middle. When you had that USOM that you had on one of your highlights. Okay, can't get walled off from a linebacker. All right, got to be able to go up and compete for those jump balls. But when we add this good weight, we can't slow down our foot speed as a receiver. Doing this, we got to work on this with dot drills, ladder drills, cone drills. Okay, got to work on getting out of that break, top of the route stuff as fast as possible. Get off the press from a corner. All right, as a receiver, we got to work on that long speed. You got to be in track. You have to be in track as a receiver. That's going to help your speed train. You get called for that deep ball, you got to be able to take the top off and not get caught. All right, working on that developing receiver craft. Jugs, tennis ball work. All right, work on that hand-eye coordination. When I coach receivers, every small drill we did, we finished with the catch, whether that was with a football or a tennis ball. One hand, two hand, whatever it is. Okay, work on that coordination. Working on developing a deep and a quick game route tree mastery. All right, as a receiver, if you can play inside and outside and you don't have to come off the field because you know kind of everything, that's going to help an OC know what he can do with you. That makes you more versatile, more valuable to him. Okay, that's going to help make it harder on the defense schematically. So keep working on that. And then lastly, working on that flexibility. Okay, I'm going to add that in there. Make sure we're working on that flexibility, this pre and post training stretching. Okay, do this stuff on your own. If you guys don't as a team, do this on your own even more. It's going to help prevent injury. Okay, because your best ability is your availability. If we're injured a lot, it's going to hurt our chances for film and everything else and offers. You go to the college side, that's going to hurt us in the depth chart if we're dinged up. All right, make sure we're taking care of those legs, taking care of those hamstrings, and make sure we're working on that. Okay, now these improvements are what a receiver college coach will look at. So double down, do all these things, hit it hard. And if it translates to your video, this can help you level up your evaluation and possibly have an opportunity at that upper to mid NAI level. Okay, but Micah, at the end of the day, man, everything will come down to your individual work, your outreach, okay, as well as your marketing on social media. That's going to be big for you this coming year, okay, because of your graduation year. So make sure we're working on that. and your relationship building with college coaches. You're going to find out that's going to be very big as well, which is why the next step is your athlete interview. Okay, where you're going to get interviewed with a coach and get coached on your communication and your interviewing skills, which is critical for the conversations you're about to start having with college coaches. So make sure you watch the video beforehand and be ready to go. If you have any questions, we'll be able to answer them at the end of the interview.